They called her lame. They said she was useless. And when the raiders burned her village to the ground, they left her crawling in the dust, broken, bleeding, and alone under the cruel Arizona sun. But fate wasn't finished with Clara Me. By the time the dust settled, a lone rider appeared over the ridge, a tall man on a chestnut stallion, his hat shadowing eyes that had seen too much pain to still believe in mercy. His name was Ethan Cole, a rancher known across counties as the man who had everything but laughter. He had money, land, and a heart walled up since his wife's death 3 winters ago. When he saw Clara, dirt-streaked, leg twisted, whispering weak prayers to a sky that didn't seem to listen, something inside him cracked. "Miss," he said softly, dismounting, "don't move, I've got you." She tried to crawl away, terrified. "Please don't hurt me." He dropped his gun belt to the ground, hands raised. "Ain't here to hurt you. I'm taking you home." She fainted before she could answer. For days, Ethan nursed her back to life in the quiet ranch house at the edge of his property. The local doctor said she might never walk right again, but Clara refused to give in. Every morning she tried, falling, crying, trying again. Ethan would watch from the porch, silent, until one morning he walked up behind her and said, "You keep this up, you'll be out running my horses by spring." Clara laughed for the first time in months, a soft, broken laugh that made him smile too. Over time she helped around the ranch, feeding chickens, stitching Ethan's torn shirts, teaching the orphan boy he'd taken in how to read. The ranch began to feel alive again. But one evening, riders came, the same men who'd burned her village. Ethan saw the dust cloud first. His jaw tightened. "Clara," he said, handing her a revolver, "get inside." She shook her head, "Not this time." When the raiders rode in, shouting her name, she stepped out, her leg trembling but her hand steady. "This ends here," she cried. Gunfire filled the valley. Ethan fought beside her, the two of them standing shoulder to shoulder like a single soul. When it was over, smoke rose from the ground, and the men who'd called her lame were gone forever. Clara dropped to her knees, shaking. Ethan knelt beside her, took her face in his rough hands, and whispered, "You're the strongest woman I've ever known." She looked up at him through tears, "Even with this leg." He smiled faintly. "Darlin', you walked back into life when most folks would have stayed down." Months later, wildflowers grew where the ashes once lay. Clara could walk again, limping, yes, but proud. One morning, Ethan found her near the corral, sunlight in her hair. "You know," he said, tipping his hat, "this old ranch been quiet too long. Could use a woman's touch, maybe even a wife." Clara blinked in surprise. "You mean?" He nodded slowly. "If you'll have me, I ain't much good at talking, but I know how to keep a promise." She smiled, tears glinting. "Then I reckon I'll take that promise, Ethan Cole." And under that big western sky, the man who had everything but hope finally found what he'd been missing, not perfection, not beauty, but a heart that refused to stop fighting, red.